So I'm starting off this video. I want to talk about it because I feel like it needs to be put out there. So this is on the topic of polyandry and polygamy. So what I've come to the conclusion of polyandry. So if you're a woman and you choose to have multiple husbands, it has to be under certain circumstances. I've explained this in another video on my channel, but I don't think it was as clean cut or clear cut. I'm going to try to explain in more detail in this recording. So, you know, say my situation, you know, I want to put forth my thoughts out into the universe by saying that as a woman in this third dimension, I've now come to the realization that I now know why my husbands aren't with me. I know why they aren't with me here right now, because all of this, you know, all of this thinking has to be, to put it forward, it has to be pre-planned in order to fully understand what's going to go on within the other realms and all of that. Because if you don't put the pieces together first, if you don't put the spiritual pieces together first, like, there's just only going to be disarray and confusion. So with that being said, so on the topic of polyandry, if you are a woman, okay, let me say first that not every woman is able to, not every woman is going to be able to fall in love with multiple men. And I'm thinking all around the world, all across the world, this is either a very, very select few of women who are able to pair bond with her husbands to the point to where, I mean, she has to come from a heart source. She has to come forth with her heart in order for this to work. And also, if she is, if she is a woman of worth and she wants to have multiple husbands, from the get-go, she's going to have to agree with her husband's having more than one wife. Because in a situation like when you're in the third dimension and you're dealing with other individuals, say on a marriage standpoint, all of us have to come to an agreement of whether this situation is going to work. But it's crazy because in this United States system, it's rare, because, I mean, it's, in the system, it's not based on having, that union between multiple males and females having this marriage union all together. No, it's not like that here. unfortunately. So, I mean, it's crazy now I realize, because, I mean, I don't know. If I were to meet my spiritual husbands here in this third dimension, like me being with all of my husbands here in this third dimension, it wouldn't work out anyway. That's the conclusion of where I see it. That whole situation of, the woman being able to spiritually bond and to, with all of her heart love, all 5 of her husbands. Like, only a select few women can really, it can't happen with many women, is what I'm trying to say. So if you're going to want to be in a polyandry relationship with multiple men, then your relationship with all of your husbands has to be on a spiritual level first, because all of us have to, we have to come to an agreement and respect one another, respect the other husbands and wives, who your partner chose to be with. All of us are going to have to come to a respectable agreement on whether, the polyandry relationship or the polygamous relationship is going to work out in the first place. But, anyway, so I have to say again, not all women are able to pair bond and, soulfully bond with the men that she loves, Not all women are going to be able to do that, so, because you see, spiritually, I chose, as a woman, I chose to love multiple men, and it's not coming from a lustful, ego-driven standpoint. It has to come from a heart light within yourself. Be honest. Tell your husbands, I deeply and truly love you, but if we're gonna start a family, if you and I are gonna join in starting a family unit, then honey, have you made a marriage agreement with another woman, so that my other husband can try to start a family with me? Like, as a woman talking to a man, I would say, honey, I'm gonna try to start a family with such and such. Do you have, are you, try to find 2 other wives so that you can be preoccupied with them, or you could, I don't know, you could focus on your goals, go out, what are your aspirations, what do you want to do, what do you want to do for a while, just go out, do that, focus purely focus on your goal-driven aspiration, whatever it may be. Or you could spend a year or two with your other wife while me and Philly or Killy or who, the husband who wants to start a family with me right now at this time. Like, we can focus on doing that. We can focus on having children right here, now, and at this time. But, in a spiritual relationship, come to your other husband and explain to him, or come to your other wife and explain to her, like, what you plan to do. Because, in a polyandry, polygamy relationship, I mean, you have to be full-blown honest, like, otherwise, like, your spouse won't see your heart, otherwise your spouse won't, he won't feel that true emotion coming from you. And this is where it's crazy, because this is where the true love has really died, because we are not truthful and honest with each other anymore because of the system. Like, it's invisible and it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, that's the only way it's going to work, is because when your husband has multiple, or he has 2 other wives already that he can go to, he goes and does his own thing for a while. But yet this has to start as a spiritual relationship first. And it's so hard for these people to see that in this matrix, because it really is unseen. I mean, you're really going to have to tap into, like, whatever your purpose is, whatever you want your purpose to be, because I don't know, it's just, I just hope that you guys know where I'm coming from with this, because as I try to train my pineal gland, my third eye, daily, I do this by imagining what is unseen. So I try to train my third eye. I try to train myself in using my third eye by imagining, my husband's there, and what I would do, what I would say to them, coming to all of my husbands with respect, and just talking to them and coming to an agreement to where, like, I want to be with you, and I want to marry you spiritually, but I understand as a woman that you have to go out, as my husband, I realize that you have to go out and do your own thing. Even if that's finding like 2 other wives, I would come to respect that, and as a husband, you would have to respect me by saying that I want to be with this other man as well, because I feel like because as a woman, I would say to you, like, okay, well, I feel like I could satisfy you, you know, with, you know, by loving you with my heart, and like just being really honest, and just taking action, saying like, you know, I'll do, you know, I'm here to serve you, and I'll do such and such for you. But in the meantime, as a woman, you're gonna have to show your husband that love, you know, over time. But as a spiritual woman, who wants to be in a polyandry type of relationship with multiple husbands, it all boils down to letting them have multiple wives, so that, you know, if one of your husbands comes to you, and we both come to an agreement saying that, okay, let's try to start a family right now, but we'll both have to say, okay, well, let's talk to such and such, so that he can have an understanding, or that he'll automatically know that we're both trying to start a family together, and then he can go about his life accordingly. So I think I kept this video too long. I think that's about it. So yeah, not every woman is able to bond with, because I mean, if you're a chosen one, and you've woken up to the realization that, like, you spiritually want to get into this, like, I mean, you have to be chosen to do a specific type of task, you know. And this is unseen. It goes within spiritual standpoint for the most part. So, yeah, I think that's it, you guys. If I have any other thoughts, I'll post another recording out on my channel. But I just wanted to get that out there. It's the afternoon. I have to work later, so I mean, yesterday was pretty crazy, so I'm hoping tonight won't be as bad, but we'll see. Usually I just go to work just to, you know, just do my shift and come home. Usually I try to imagine, like, thoughts in my head, like certain storylines, like, just to get through my day. So, yeah. Hope you have a good day, you guys, and I'll talk to you in another recording later. Alright. Bye.